Well, either way, I think I've fixed our technical problems. We'll see. I don't know why the stream's not live. Hopefully it comes up now, but we are going to get into the action here of round 2 of Meeks versus Sunset Ravens this afternoon. And we are on our second map, like I said, in this best of 3. We do have Sunset Ravens on the attack right now, down a player, and Meeks on the defense, up a player. Sunset Ravens playing the 4v5, unfortunately, and Civ scooping up a kill. Had plenty of replays of them in the last map, which we didn't broadcast live, unfortunately.
Round starting.
And yes, we do again apologize for the tech hiccup. I'm not sure why we didn't instantly go live, but it's okay. We only missed a map as I adjust the scores, and Meeks continue to pile on here in map 2, up 1-0 on the defense. Definitely going to be an A-side push here as we jump over to Sandy. Civ trying to hold down this site. Smoke's coming in. Jedi Milo swinging wide goes down. Adams flying through the smoke, scoops up one, looking for more as they come barreling around the corner. Natman actually is picking up a second. Trading down on the swing from the backside. Now Infused looking for this shot, and they'll find it. Nice little pickup there from Infused to put another point onto the board for Meeks. This best of 3 series could be going fast. A reminder to those that did just tune in, we are here in the EU postseason. Apologies for the tech hiccups. We've had an early start on the afternoon and a couple of forfeits and rounds played through already. But we should be able to get a best of 3 or 2 here on the stream for day 1. A reminder, we'll be doing this again tomorrow, where we will be jumping into plenty more games. So be sure to stick around for that as nades and utility do come in. Civ picks up another one alongside A. They just kind of keep sending it here to A. Civ picks up a double. The Meeks defense on point here as we do see the duo left dropping back, trying to tuck in, prevent the over-aggression from finding success, as they definitely know it's coming in. Almost maybe baiting them out. No! Mike can't quite find the kills they were looking for there, and Yikes is just getting aggressive. The swing out, Natman finds 3. Can't find any more, though. That was dangerous as they stacked up on the entryway.
Round starting. Get ready.
Oh, and I added some extra points to Meeks already. We apologize for that, but... Okay, yes, we are live. We are live. I've confirmed it. And we're into, again, like I said, our second map of the afternoon, if you are just tuning in. Yikes flies up for a double, and yikes indeed. Absolutely cutting down this midfield offense here. Sunset Ravens having a very hard time up against Meeks this afternoon, and they are dropping back all the way to site. Oh, they forgot the scanner back at site. Yikes flies out for a second. And yikes indeed. Yes. What is happening? Jedi, did they get the scanner? They did, and they've rotated all the way around to B's site.
Round starting.
They get scooped up on the cross, and Sunset Ravens not having an easy time up against Meeks right now. If you are just tuning in, this is the EU postseason, and it's a little bit different format than we played in the past. A little bit more chaotic, if you will, but we do have multiple games playing right now. Meeks and Sunset Ravens playing through the winners bracket, but we've also had some forfeits come through. Ascenders, I think we have Ascending and Academy playing out right now. Nice flash here. Blinds Jedi finally. The swing here successful on towards A's side. Sandy going to try and take and finds no, just one. Doesn't hold down the trigger for any more. Could have had the double there, but they're getting overwhelmed. The push coming in. Sandy finds a second. Needs 2 more to pick up the 1v4 defense here. Knows Adam's in the corner. Waits for them to pop out. Finds the third. Looking for the fourth. Jump checks Mike. I wonder if they saw Mike pushing up through the center there from that corner jump. Oh my goodness, the 4-kill clutch from Sandy. Sunset Ravens cannot catch a dang break here. Nice little bit of an aggressive shutdown there from Mike, reading the play coming in. And they've had this good rollout on A site now a couple of times where they've found some kills despite them into the 4v5. The retake is where they've been struggling, obviously, because that extra player on the retake makes it a little bit more challenging. But so far, no one's really swung to support Sandy. Oh, and the double from Sandy again. Multi-kills coming in. Oh, and the triple. Absolutely shutting down A site. What is the KD? 7 and 3. Man, they've just climbed up the ladder the last couple of rounds there with some big kills. Site been working. Why go anything different? Well, I guess it hasn't really been working. Obviously, they've been losing rounds pushing A, but they've at least come closer here on A site. As long as they don't run into Sandy there, I see they seem to be okay. Oof, and a 1-2 punch there puts the scanner alone in that man's hands, just trying to put a point on the board for Sunset Ravens here in map 2. But this best of 3 looking to be done shortly, and we won't play a third map like we have all season long if they do lose here. So it should be a quick BO3 to the point. And trying to see what our next matchup could be this afternoon, if there is another one. I think we're waiting for scores to come in, so we'll see. We'll wait and see what our next matchup is going to be, because we certainly are going to be there soon. Round 8 coming in here, and Meeks right now leading 7-0 in map 2. A 9-1 defeat on Cliffside. But that, again, another close series. Big multi-kills coming in that ended up winning them maps. Otherwise would have been very close rounds. Andy finds one up at A, and they just keep pressing the A site. Yikes, trying to catch the rotation, but unsure where this push is coming from. And SR are going to go for the rotation. You know, I don't know, even down a play, I think that especially on defense is going to be a lot harder. Gray pops up, looking through that corner there. Civ doesn't quite catch Mike crossing. Gray does go down. Adam and Mike work together, get the scanner in hand, and push B site 2v3. With the Yikes trying to push up and catch Mike on the cross. No, doesn't quite connect. But they know they're being pressed. Adam and Mike. Adam going to swing a short corner, finds one, looks for two, can't pick it up, and the kill on the back end. Turns it into a 1v1. Maybe the point on the board here for Sunset Ravens. Another rotation coming in, and you can see Infuse kind of reading this. So we're going A side, aren't we? Time is ticking down though, and oh, this could be a bad move. I wonder if they're gonna have enough time. 15, 18, yeah, they'll have 15 seconds, plenty of time. Plenty of time to get the scanner down.
Started.
Mike will tuck in. And Infused, swinging fast and furious. Flash over the top, don't know if it caught Mike. Gonna try and hit him on the corner, but Mike plays the old ring around the rosy. Tactic, eventually the fight goes the way of Infused. The defuse from Infused will push the team up 8-0. That's the half. We swap sides.
We're switching sides.
9-1 map 1, looking to go 9-0 map 2. As Meeks go onto the attack. The 5-4, obviously, again, an unfortunate disadvantage for Sunset Ravens. We do have scores getting reported in that Cryptix has beaten Poise in a 2-map series as well, 9-5, 9-6. I think we may do a losers bracket series. We'll see as we do push in here. Onside defense definitely at A as yikes. And Infused pick up a couple of kills. The double from Infused. And that's the half. That's the map. That's the series. Meeks looking strong this afternoon, to say the least. And in the early stages of our double elimination tournament, you can kind of expect scorelines to be a little bit one-sided, I think. But the matchup's still pretty fun to watch. You know, despite Sunset Ravens being down a player, I think if they had 5, we would have seen a lot closer of a series this afternoon. But because they were down to 4 in the 4v5 against a pretty solid Meeks team, seated second in the overall ladder, it's not terribly surprising to see that they don't find a ton of success there. So Meeks will move on in their winners bracket. I do wonder how many Meeks is doing right now against Ascendancy. We will wait to see what other scores get reported, and then, like I said, get ready to dive into our next matchup. I think, confirm here on the schedule, that we are going to hop into 5, 6, 7, and 8. 5, 6. Yeah, we may go to losers bracket, or we may go to Acer to see how they're doing. Because 6 just got played. We just watched that. Okay, 5, 6, 7, and 8, and then we have 9 and 10. Again, losers bracket. So yeah, I think we are headed to losers bracket for the most part, because this is a double elimination tournament. Teams have an opportunity to crawl their way back up all the way through the losers bracket to a chance at competing against that #1 team in the grand finals. Winner of each region getting that in-game skin that gets sold and revenue shared to the winning team. A pretty cool opportunity that's only really present in VAIL. It's the only VR esport that's doing something like this, where they're sharing revenue with winning teams, and we think it's a really cool opportunity. So a big shout out to Axe Labs for supporting us in this measure, and I'm looking forward to seeing how these skins turn out, what teams end up doing with them. And yeah, it's exciting stuff. But that's what's on the line this afternoon, and obviously bragging rights for Season 3, first, second, and third coming in the EU region. We really do appreciate everyone participating this weekend and the coming weekends, because we're going to be doing this every weekend for the next 3 weekends, basically. On top of what's going to be Breachers postseason starting, and Orion Drift with their Ignition Cup in next weekend. So there's going to be a lot of content on the VRML network, and it's going to be kind of crazy. You're going to want to tune into it. You're going to want to catch it. It's going to be a lot of fun, but also, again, a lot of content. So do not miss all of the action. We're doing our best to not miss any, but I have missed, obviously, Actually, I just missed a forfeit, which was fine, and a quick 2-0 from Meeks, unfortunately. But like I said, other games are finishing, so we should have our second losers bracket round here shortly, and then we should be diving into the losers bracket. So we're going to go to a brief break. When we come back, our second best of 3 series. 3 this afternoon for EU, and then 2 for NA later today at 3 p.m. PST. A lot going on, so don't go anywhere. More action coming right up. welcome back, everybody. My name is Nightfire with 2 E's, and we are here getting ready to dive into a second best of 3 in the EU postseason, but I believe another 4v5. Unfortunately, teams struggling to fill their rosters this afternoon over on the EU region, but it's the losers bracket, so loser here and their season is done. We'll see if Ascenders can claw something together in what has been a rough season 2 and 9. And Poise looking to pick a W and advance on to the losers bracket for another round. We do get into the action. We start on Miru Day. Right into the action we go as Prodigies picks up an early kill. Fends off 3, pushing through. Did they get the full ace?
Round starting.
I think that might have been the ace from Prodigies. Let me see the kills. No, Billiam got one. 3's getting scooped up by Prodigies down the long lane. Nice way to open up the defensive half for Poise. Ascender's likely to have a tough time against this one. I'm curious what the status is of our other matchups. We do have other games playing as well that are going to lead us into that losers bracket again. Oof, Giganock's not quite connecting there. William also missing the shots. Cross definitely comes in, the push. Oh no, and this is Poise getting very aggressive. Callie finds Granddad overextending. And now Giganock's holding scanner, is going to push out. Finds 2 on the swing. Can't choose which one to go for, though. A target-rich environment, as Callie knows there's 3 on the backside. Finds an opportunity for 1. That nade comes close, but doesn't connect. 1v3, and again, this is going to look, I think, like Poise taking a pretty quick 2-map series here. Down a player, definitely going to hurt Ascenders. Oh, nice headshot, though, and Prodigies finally swings the short corner. Connect with the kill. Showing off the VRML Season 1 skin. We love to see it. Into our 3rd season now of VRML, and see if Prodigy is going to be the squad that's going to earn themselves a custom in-game skin. And reset the scores there. Well, to our first map as Granddad again getting aggressive on the swing out, but over aggressive. Giganox finds the refrag on the reload. Tristan soups up a kill through the smoke. Callie finds the refrag on the back end. Ninja shuts down the flank, and a nice play here from Ascenders. You guys spoke too soon on Poise rolling through here for a quick series, but here comes the aggression from Prodigies and the double kill. It's the big clutch kills, honestly, that have been winning these teams the 5v4s. We've seen these 4-player teams put up good contests just in that last best of 5. Still a solid back and forth at the end of the day. They find an early pick, or Poise gets over aggressive like we've seen Granddad do, then they definitely can lose some early players and end up kind of getting hurt from their aggression. We'll see if the Ascenders are reading into that aggression well enough. Callie picking up 4 kills so far on the round is definitely pretty nice. We'll stay on board with them as that flash comes in. The timing pretty unfortunate. Ninja Kex catches 1. Can't get any more than that as Prodigies finds 3, and they're looking for the full ace. But nade around the corner. They know 1's on the back line, and now getting flanked. It's Prodigies with all 4 on the push through. And now Poise are starting to feel that rhythm that I was talking about, up 4-0. Interesting note, I think, worth focusing on here this afternoon is that with the double elimination bracket, we do open up the amount of teams to playing in this tournament. Instead of doing the Challenger Cup, where we have multiple squads ranked 8th and below compete for that 8th spot, we are letting anyone basically ranked 8 and below play in the double elimination bracket. And so we have teams that are 2 and 9 on the regular season, which is the case for Ascenders here. Still getting an opportunity to play in the postseason as Billiam and Prodigies absolutely steamrolled through. And yeah, we may not be around for long here. 5-0 map 1. We are getting scores coming in now. Mini Meeks losing 9-6 and 9-1 to Ascendancy. Ascendancy will go on to play Meeks tomorrow, and I think that's when the games are really going to start to actually be pretty close and tight. I anticipate tomorrow to be a lot more exciting and back and forth than today was, but honestly, I'm still pretty happy with what today has shown us here. Some good replays that I've been able to capture. Mini Meeks should be playing loser of Ascending and Academy soon. And we could jump over to that series once that begins as Talong swings out on the back line, shutting down the aggression. Tristan, not for long. Callie unable to fend off this push, and Prodigy is just continuing to steamroll through on this A site. 6-0 out the gate here. And like I said, Prodigy is definitely looking to advance on through to their next losers bracket round, which we should be covering today. I do believe we're going to go to several losers. Yeah, we have losers bracket round 1, which is where we're at right now. It's Poise Ascenders, then Mini Meeks versus loser of Ascending Academy, then loser of 5. Ooh, then Acer EU versus the winner of Ascending Academy. Okay. Several games left ahead of us this afternoon, to the point. Oh my goodness, Billiam, put it on the replay. The bolt action double kill. As Giganox tries to push up through the middle. Injects, looking for shots up over the top of the stairs. Does find Grandad, but not before losing one. Oh, and the third bolt kill from Billiam.
Round starting.
They're just styling. They're just getting replays out there so they can put it on the YouTube. It's all about clips, you know? It's all about the sweet clips. Oh, and Billiam again with the bolt action. Yeah, you can see Lear in here asking about the champion skins, and we've talked about just what's at stake for the winner of this tournament. A pretty rare opportunity amongst the VR esports spaces. Very unique in the fact that you are able to get your team a custom in-game skin that is sold, and portions of that revenue from the sold skin go to the winning team. It's an incredibly cool opportunity that I would honestly want to have as a prize pool for all of our all of our leagues, but VAIL definitely the first one to do something like this, and I think it's going to lead to some really cool skins. And who knows, you know, if you really design something neat with how much VAIL is blowing up on the social space, there's definitely a large market for people wanting to pick up cool looking skins. So I think it's a pretty good opportunity to maybe actually get a decent amount of change on the winning side as the pistol round goes to Poise. And yeah, map 1 of this series goes quick. We do have Mini Meeks and Ascending coming up. Let's see if we can get the details for that. And yeah, we do have Ascending taking the W, so they'll actually be going on to face Acer Academy as lost in a 2-map series, so they'll be going down to face Mini Meeks. And once that's corrected, we should be able to dive into that map. But for now, we watch replays and match clips. And what has been a dominant performance from both teams, Meeks and Poise, so far this afternoon that we've tuned into. Meeks coming along strong with 2 map wins on Cliffside and Suna, and now Poise coming on strong with a map 1 win here, 9-1 on Miru. I do see a disconnect on Ascending as well, so they could, or Ascenders, excuse me, so they very well could be headed to a forfeit for map 2. And Yeah, we will just patiently wait and see where we end up with our second round of the series. But oh, I am getting reports now that the fourth from Ascender's power went out. So they've lost internet connection. They've lost the ability to get online and play the game. That's a crazy way to have to stop your matchups right there. But hey, sometimes things happen. They could technically 5v3, as the rules do state that you only need 3 to play a match. But if that's the case, we definitely won't be sticking around for that one, and we will be heading over to anyway. We'll sort out what our next map's going to be, because I think we're into a bit of a tech pause here with this one. And if I can, I'll jump into Mini Meeks versus Academy, maybe Acer EU versus Ascending. But I don't know if we want to watch another stomp, because I do think Acer EU seeded at 1 versus the 8 seed. Definitely going to have preference there. We are into a 5-4, though. They did reconnect. Their power came back on. That was a pretty quick power back. Oh, maybe that was a different series. I am seeing we're ready to go into the 5v4 with Poise and... oh no, 5-5? Now Poise are on 4. No, is someone on the wrong team? Talong's... I don't know. I guess we're getting into it. Shuna Day, not Dusk, but whatever. Yeah, never use this one. Looks cool. Shuna Dusk looks the best. And an odd reversal. What is happening here? Somebody is on the wrong team. That's all. That's what I think. Either way, Poise on the offense, still barreling through on B site. And now Talongs is all that's left. I think Ascenders have 5 and now Poise have 4. Somehow we've swapped. Nice flash. Knife comes in, misses, and then still Sir Ultimate catches the kill.
Round starting. Get ready.
There we go. Okay, that's what I thought was wrong. Granddad was on the wrong team. So they've adjusted, and Poise are back to the 5-4. An unfortunate situation for Ascenders, but Map 2 kicks off with an offensive point on the pistol round for Poise. Sometimes a little bit of confusion. What's up happening? But Poise looking for the push up here. B-side control pretty much locked in now as Callie tucks down onto that B-side. Springs up for some shots that connect for only 1. And now Sir Ultimate fending off what is 2 left on defense, trying to retake. Catches 1. Going to push up for the second. Giganox getting ready to swing the corner. Doesn't catch Sir Ultimate on the short side, though. Goes for the longer one towards Scanner. There's still 3 left alive. And Poise put a second point on the board pretty cleanly here. I think it's going to be another quick map 2. So again, if I get a... yeah, we're just waiting to see. Academy may forfeit. Mini Meeks may move on to play Sunset Ravens. So Sunset Ravens is just getting a dose of Meeks this afternoon. Another solid push from Poise, though. Swings out. Ninja catches 1, catches 2. Put it on the replay list. His ultimate swings out to finish it off. Caught in the middle and down the long lane. Callie and Talons go down. Boys continue their
Starting.
undefeated streak. 9-0 map 1, 3-0 map 2. I think... yeah. That's what happened. In the loser's bracket, a disconnect came in on the Academy side. So many Meeks waiting for a fourth to join onto the Academy. And so 5v4s, again, the roster boss, seemingly the most detrimental element to some of these teams that have not been able to push through to the top tiers. One-two punch there, gets rid of the long-range defenders. Giganox still over the top, though, picks up one. Callie also on the back line, doesn't find Prodigy, so it does leave Giganox alone. 1v2, though, definitely manageable. Jedi also talking about in VAIL their Pavlov matchup. That postseason nearly finished. If we've had any broadcasts there, though. His ultimate doing some diversion tactics. Giganox pushing up towards A. And for the 1v1 against Prodigy, but Prodigy has found a lot of kills so far this afternoon. 2-2 on the half, and ooh. Doesn't take the fight, runs away, wants the knife kill, I think, to finish it off. And that's going to end up costing them their life. Time, though, takes down, and Poise, Sir Ultimate, with dual-wielding pistols, finds the final kill they need.
Round starting. Get ready.
4-0 map 2. And it does look like Academy have gotten a fourth, so many Meeks. And Academy should be able to play through. We may go to Acer and Ascending. Again, cut out in the middle. Ninja Kex alone in the 1v4. 5, excuse me, is, yeah, the disadvantage definitely stinging here for Ascenders and Poise. Looking good. I'm looking forward to Poise and Meeks Ascendancy and Cryptics versus Acer EU if they end up making it through past Ascending. There's going to be a lot of good matchups tomorrow, which we're going to start with for round 3. Then we go down into a loser's bracket with a lot of these good teams losing. So, you know, again, we're into the early stages of the single elimination, double elimination bracket where we've got some disparity between teams in terms of ranking and seeding on the regular season. That's why we're seeing these kind of blowouts and why we're seeing 5v4 is because some teams are a little bit more prepared than others for this opportunity, which is a rare one, meaning that you can get a skin in game and sold. And from that sale, the team that champion team of that skin gets a portion of it. So basically getting a portion of in-game cosmetic sales from a skin that you get to customize if you're the winning team. Pretty sick opportunity at the end of the day. Exclusive only to VAIL. As Poise change things up, instead of going B, go A and find no resistance at A. Everyone on the 4-man squad stacked up to B to try and fend them off the best they could. Callie catches 1. But there's still 3 left, and the scanner is down, so they don't have infinite amounts of time. They're getting pushed as well as they try to drop back. It's going to be Prodigies that scoops up the kill. 6-0.
Starting.
And yeah, we should have a few more games left ahead of us this afternoon. I do appreciate everyone stopping by, hanging out, enjoying our early phases of this double elimination tournament. Cali can't find the double, though. The transfer not quite coming in there. Ninja Kex now. Doesn't catch Billion. And 7-0.
Get ready.
2 more to go, and map 2 of this best of 3 is Finn. Boys move on. We move on. And games continue. I am curious about Acer EU and Ascending, considering Ascending went 2-0 against Academy. A little interested in Mini Meeks versus Academy as well. Swing out from Ninja Kex, trying to catch these frags. Let's get one, but only one. Granddad finding multiple on the back line, and now Cali. Again alone. Only be able to pick up one of 3 left alive, or 4 left alive, and
We're switching sides.
I think we'll just wrap this one up and get ready for our next series as Poise. Oh, not Ascenders. Take the second map. And a solid performance from the Poise squad here this afternoon. We're going to do our best to jump into another series here, so do give me a bit of time on my end to sort out the tech side, and we come back. It's going to be more of the double elimination bracket. Ideally, Acer EU versus Ascending, 2 winning teams. Maybe Mini Meeks versus Academy. But then we'll have Sunset Ravens versus the winner of Mini Meeks and Academy, and I think that is going to be an interesting series as well. So we'll see. We'll see where we end up going here this afternoon. But for now, a brief break. When we come back, more post-season. Hopefully some 5v5s, but I'm not going to make any promises. Until then, stick around. Welcome back, everybody, to the VRML Breachers, well, VAIL Season 3. I knew I was going to do that at some point. My name is Nightfire with 2 E's, and we are jumping into our next matchup of the day. A fresh series here. Another unfortunate 4v5, Acer EU versus Ascending. Big double hill from John Yakuza coming up. Can't get any more than that as Elliot finally shuts it down. A 1v3 coming in here from Pike now. I want to say I have the teams right, but let me double check rosters. Acer EU sitting at the top. And actually, wow, that's interesting. They're the team. They're the team that's down a player. Wow, this is a huge. This is kind of nuts. Okay. What is happening here? We're going to swap teams. Ascending is up 2-1 against Acer EU. The number 8 seed in the region versus the number 1 seed right now. We've just jumped into the series halfway, but 5-9 versus 11-1 in the regular season. Acer EU at the moment only able to field 4. I wonder if they'll get a 5th connected in here, if they'll need a 5th. As Pan finds one mushroom, picks up the refrag. The push coming in as Buckshot shuts down any advancement through the midline, and I think this is going to be a pretty close one. 5v4, sure, but Acer EU, a dominant team in the EU region, number 1, right underneath their partner team in the NA region, Acer, and the worldwide leaderboard. So it would be pretty unfortunate if Acer EU weren't able to come out on top here this afternoon, as they've had a solid season otherwise. Also, it would be pretty impressive if they still were able to beat a team 5v4. Would really go to show just how powerful this Acer team is. Steph catches one, Jiggle Bun with another on the nades. Acer EU can't afford to get picked off as Pike picks up a double through the smoke. Mushroom trying to shut it down, and Pike with 3. Sometime, I mean, it's the multi-kills. Oh, and the side flank from Buckshot. Jiggle Bun focusing down on Pike in the midfield. Acer EU claw one back after 2 nade kills. Absolutely devastate the roster to 2v5. I think it was a 2v4. Pike picks up a triple. Goes 6-3. Acer EU in the game. I'm very curious why Acer's down a player right now. They have a roster with at least 6. No, just 5, excuse me. Battle over A. Scanner pushing up. Mushroom trying to fend off this swing and fight up the midfield as well, but it goes the way of Pan. Lord McJigglebum with a quick double, though, and a 1v2, the retake. Be a bit of a challenge. Oh, and getting caught out on the swing there. That's going to sting. Lower than half health, going up against 2 full HP. Benders. Yeah, gonna be a challenge. Pan swings out, scoops up the kill. Acer EU down a player, 4-2 on map 1 in this best of 3. And I see folks checking out the series in chat, asking what we're tuning into. This is a double elimination postseason for VAIL. A double elimination bracket. No Challenger Cup. 10 teams entered into the EU double elimination bracket. The end of it will have a first, second, and third place champion of Season 3 for EU. As Mushroom finds a nice early kill on the Pan. Still fending off the swing. Not ready for John on the short corner. Up through the mid, Elliot finds Pike off of a quick refrag, and Acer down to 1. Could be the round. Nades come out over the top. John's going to push up, get very close. Try and catch them out. Unaware! Doesn't find the transfer or the double. That could have been bad news for Ascending, but they got to use this power play while they have it. We'll see if Acer ever does get a fifth to connect in. Checking out chat, seeing what folks are saying. Appreciate you all stopping by. Acer EU kind of stuck here. Losing 2 on the back line as Pan sits up with the scanner. Everyone advancing on the back there, but Pan catches Elliot. Mushroom buried in the smoke. Pan getting information and is able to drop back. It could swing B. They actually have the advantage now to push B as Mushroom does vault up and over. Swings out for 1. Jiggle button goes down. Pan low HP. Definitely took some damage on that exchange. Catches Shinji, and now the 1v1. Mushroom pushes up close. 40 seconds left. Pan has a slice of HP. 1 bullet away, and they're done. Mushroom takes the challenge. They could have caught the kill, but instead, Pan is going to be able to drop back the A site and get this plant somehow, some way. Turn lasers on, see if that's something you find folks at home enjoy. Push coming in. Time ticks down. 14 seconds left on the scanner. Getting defused right now. Mushroom's looking for the clutch. They're going to stick the defuse, and Pan doesn't push out to interrupt it. Ascending somehow put a point on the board in a clutcher kick stick on the defuse, and we swap sides even with Acer EU going on the defense and Ascending now on the attack, a player up. I think defense far more challenging down a player than offense is. Obviously, because in the game of VAIL, you have to split your defense to 2 objectives. It's a lot easier to have 2 on each objective in 1 roam. Push coming up here from John as it's exchanged 1 for 1 on the backside there. Pike tossing out a flash, trying to disrupt, and nade also coming up and over. That's not going to connect. Steph not ready for this flank that's coming in from John right now. Getting pressed on both sides, and John scoops up Steph. But meanwhile, because of, again, their disadvantage on players, they've ended up stacking one side a little too heavy. Scanner goes down at A because the duo split. They went with a 3-2 split. And Shinji jump checks the corner, waiting to see if Pike pushes up. It comes in. The incendiary also coming up to try and zone. Nice flash over the top. We're into the pistol round here, so numbers matter more than anything. But Jiggle Buns picks up a double. What a beautiful scoop up there. And now Pike trying to swing the wide side. The knife kill, the double. Oh, put that one on the replay board. Oh my goodness gracious. Great balls of fire. Let's see if we did catch that one.
Round starting. Get ready.
Yikes. Woo! 5-4. Acer EU off of a huge clutch from Pike, 12 and 6. And a little shout out to the crowd there off of that one. Getting fancy with us, Pike. Pistol round leaves the rifle round, leaves the John Yakuza, putting another one down. And that's a round you can take home to the bank. Pike looking for a little bit of a pinch. Coming up through mid. Nade toss comes out. It's suppressed, nice flash, but doesn't act on it. Nade coming in, that's a good toss. Doesn't quite catch Mushroom on the backside. John and Buckshot stop Steph. Pushing in, and now Mushroom quickly getting worried about getting pinched. Banner is down. Buckshot getting confident, slowly working their way up. Going to have the line of sight onto the back of Mushroom, and down they'll go. Looks like a connection issue with Elliot, unfortunately. And as they disconnect, Acer EU, another point on the board. Map 1, 6-4. So far, so good for Acer EU, despite being down a player. This team still sat at the top of the regular season for 13 weeks, 12 weeks, 11 and 1 with a 92% win rate, 77%, 75%, and 71% respectively on their top 3 maps. Pretty dang impressive record. At the end of the day, the ascending squad definitely had an uphill battle no matter what way they sliced it against this team. But they're doing well to fight the 5v4 and honestly keeping this thing pretty close. So as Pan tucks in, still hasn't sprung up, finds one, finds two, can't pick up the third. Shinji and Mushroom quickly clean up. And the sending, tack a nice one on. I mean, were they, how did that? Whoa, I didn't even realize. The 4v4, they went around. And definitely going to be the front line for the defense here. Knife came in over the top there. Mushroom catches Pan. Shinji not ready for John up through the middle. Scanner down. Mushroom gonna have to do something about it. Knows they're gonna get pinched here if they linger too long. And as the flashing utility comes in, Pike pushes up, John on the back end. Acer close it. Closer and closer to a map 1 victory in this best of 3 series. Seeing in chat, folks reacting to the Pike knife. Was quite impressive. Still 4v4. Oh, and John put that one on the replay board. Ooh, making a triple. Beautiful ace. They see this. No, they don't see the 4th up through the middle. They do go down. Shinji picks a double up, but enough left alive on Acer EU for another point. Love to see that 1-2 punch. Good shot. With the nade. With the triple after the smoke dissipates. Map point here for Acer. Sending to lock it in here. They've got a good opportunity of battling back against the #1 team in the 5v4, but now they're into a 4v4, and Pike finds one on the flank. Mushroom forced to swing to the back end. Worried about getting pushed here, and as they should be, because Pike is here, threatening them from the back line, from the front line buckshot, and here's the pinch coming in. They're pushing Pike to try and get rid of it. And thankfully, Steph stops Pike from doing any damage to the back line, but the front line still being fended off by Buckshot. He doesn't connect, looking for more, picks up the double. That'll be the map. Acer EU putting the first one on this best of 3 into their pocket, despite only having 4 playing in the tournament this afternoon. Pretty impressive stuff. And what you expect of a top team like Acer, quite frankly. Suna goes their way, though. And we see where we head for map number 2. If Ascending get their 5th back, and if they're going to have a power play opportunity again against Acer. Right now, Acer EU obviously still strong, like we've been seeing on their matchup history, a dominant team, but yeah, that's one thing we haven't talked about is all of the action that's going on across VRML Network across the next few months. From Orion Drift tournaments to Breachers postseason to the VAIL postseason, which obviously starting this weekend goes 3 weekends long. So we've got this weekend, next weekend, and the last weekend, the finals. We then have Breachers qualifiers for VRMLCon, VAIL qualifiers for VRMLCon, $5,000 prize pool for every tournament that teams enter into. It's a pretty sick deal, thanks to all of our developers supporting VRMLCon. We're ready to get into our second round, though, here, and it's going to be Cliffside. They do a little bit of a warm-up. Does look like we are going to be getting into a 4v4, and it does look like we are going to have Acer EU on defense and Ascending on the attack for map 2 here. Short turn made there. It doesn't even matter. Through the smoke, they catch the kills. We'll scoop up on the back line there from Pan, but 3 alive for Ascending. Scanner down. And can come in with a 1v3 clutch. Has full HP, Steph at half. Has given away the flank now too, so has to impress. Gets mushroom, swings for more. Picks up Lord McJiggle, finds the low HP. Steph is the last one that's alive and finds the kill. That was close. But Pan doesn't quite catch the clutch in the pistol round. Another look at that bad boy on that replay. Nice swing there. Tries to transfer to for safe, and I mean, of course, Steph, the one that's actually had damage, the one that's left alive. Battle here through the smoke. Oh, and a nice pickup there. Pike. Steph, all that's left on the offense. Trying to get rid of John Yakuza and the rest of this team is now pushing up and collapsing. The one remaining alive, and it will be Pike who finds the flank. Acer quickly righting the wrongs of the pistol round loss, but still fighting a 4v4, and I gotta wonder if Ascending are just honoring the 4v4 or if they have just had unfortunate connection issues, a power outage. Who knows what's going on over there, quite frankly. Flashes and nades over the top for Pike. Buckshot and Shinji both finding kills. Pike swings out. Another going down in a 1-for-1 trade, and just like that, we're down to 1v1. Scanner on B, and I'm trying to get there in time before it goes down, but quite interrupted. Is utility available? Yes, there is. A flash over the corner. Don't know if it catches mushrooms. They swing, and John catches the kill. He'll get the defuse, and Ascending
Scan interrupted.
down another point as Acer back into the lead.
Round starting.
Coming close, though, against the #1 seed in the EU region. Folks talking about the skill gap. Definitely something that's present here, but it's impressive that Ascending have been able to do what they've done. This is their first season. They're into the postseason. They're in the losers bracket. Or no, the winner bracket, excuse me. They're going up against the #1 seed. I mean, ultimately, whoever has to go up against Ascending in the losers bracket is going to have a tough time. Nice flank from Buckshot. John finds one in the smoke. They're going to continue their push up. Buckshot finds another. John swings up, and what a beautiful pinch there from the duo.
Round starting.
Left alive on Acer. Great coordination. And what you expect out of a team that's been playing a lot together. On board John here, pushed up pretty far. Time to swing out, doesn't need to. Others going down. Will catch out. Diggle Buns looks for two, and Buckshot finds the other on the back line. Acer shut down.
Get ready.
Sending on map 2 here. 4-1 on defense. Not quite as close as the 9-5, but that was a 5v4. And a reminder that this is day 1 of the postseason. We've got what I would argue to be the much closer matchups coming. Oh my goodness. Shinji with a huge play here. Leaves Buckshot alone in the 1v2. Very low on HP though, but they have the player numbers. Where is the scanner going to go? Likely B. Are they going to catch the rotation? No. Shinji doesn't have enough HP to challenge that fight, and Buckshot is chipped down to half, so advantage definitely to McJigglebun, as they're going to put this scanner down on B site and wait for the push from Buckshot. I don't think there's any utility left. I don't know what Buckshot really has. Available to them, but we've seen a scanner stick work before, and they may be going for that right now. Flash over the top. They're on the scanner. I don't think they heard the audio cue, and they catch the kill, but not before the scanner's interrupted. I think there may be a bug in 1.6 where the scanner audio isn't working. An unfortunate reality. That definitely impacts how players typically defend. You wait for a team to push up, you wait for the audio cue of the scanner being interrupted to come in, and then you push out to catch them with their hand in the cookie jar, so to speak. Yeah, Buckshot getting very aggressive. Pushes into several lines of fire. A nice pickup there from Pike, though. Ooh, and Steph with the peek. Down to if John's going to do anything. I don't think either of them, John or Pan, are going to really see this rotation happening. I do like it, though. Sending, trying to lock in here. Shots over the top from Pan do connect. John is pushing up. On the short line, catches one, catches two. No, Pan over the top. And Pan goes down. Mushroom now, knowing that John's swinging here on the short corner, has the height advantage. Scanner is down, though, and 35 seconds left on the clock. Oh, and they go for the push. Position given away. The swing out, and Mushroom comes out on top, ascending. Back on the board. They are going to keep map 2 as close as map 1 against this Acer EU squad. Either way, though, the 4v4 kind of shaping up a little bit. A reminder that NA kicks off later today, 3 p.m. PST. We only got 2 best of 3s we'll be tuning into there. Be a pretty quick NA series. Swing in. Ooh, Buckshot. Does get caught out. That could have been bad news if they didn't press that flank. But another 2v2 here. Scanner is down. He picked up by Mushroom. And Pan just waiting on the tight angle. Oh my, and Mushroom had the line there. Pan just dropped. A little bit of damage done onto the shoulder. John slowly working up the flank. You can see Mushroom worried about that possibility. He catches John in the middle of the rotation, but John draws gun in time. The half finishes 6-2 to Acer, and we swap sides. Map 2 certainly looking good here. Acer EU likely to advance. Cryptics defeating Poise in their matchup 2-0. Seeded 4th. So obviously a lot closer in the overall regular season ladder up against Acer. And that'll be tomorrow. So again, we got some good series to kick into tomorrow. Acer and Cryptics and Meeks and Ascendancy. And then we get into the losers bracket, so again, that should be exciting. Winners here. Nice trade. Scanner quickly picked up by John. Buckshot on the overwatch. Does enable the scanner to go down. Gingy on the flank. A nice little flash over the top line. No, an instant. What was that, a smoke? No, an instant. Yeah, on the zone there. And great pinch from the duo. Ascending. Gonna put a point on the board here, and ooh, who knows what's gonna happen? Maybe the defensive half is gonna be where Ascending bounce back. Cliffside, I think, is like quote unquote the worst map for Acer EU, but 122 rounds played, 120 rounds played. Yes, like I said, they're worse, but 71% still pretty dang impressive. This Acer EU squad winning a 4v5 and now a 4v4 for a reason. But I am impressed with how Ascending has been battling, so fun one to tune into nonetheless. Nice nade there on the site, should disrupt the plant. Incin's just a little bit late, but they'll catch the kill. Steph can't quite transfer to Buckshot for the multi. Sin was just a second too late. A mushroom pushes to the short corner, finds John, looks for two. Doesn't catch it. Jigglebun finds Pike over the top, and we quickly go to a 1v1. HP definitely in advantage of Buckshot. That should be a good flash over the top, and trying to stick the interrupt. Buckshot says no, no, no. Acer EU put another one on the board.
Get ready.
Utility. Definitely king in the competitive scene. In particular in a game like VAIL, you see those nice flashbangs doing a lot. Early kill there from Buckshot. Line firing for more as Shinji tries to fend off this push. And oh, what another good flash. Gonna go up to Jigglebun on the top line. They'll go down quickly. Shinji trying to fend off what is 4 alive and healthy Acer EU squad players. And yeah, the Ensign doesn't quite go where they're hoping. Panner's down. Pan finishes the round. And Acer EU have one more to go. Zips past the Acer EU squad. That one does catch them out. Acer down to a 2v3, but do have a site control. Buckshot gonna in the Overwatch pick up a kill. Jigglebun though could clutch this up. No, Buckshot on the last bullet of their clip catches the skill they need, and now gonna go for the 1v1. Steph low on HP, and Buckshot just needed a bullet. And it's Acer EU. Locking in 2 maps despite being down a player, and an impressive display of why they are the #1 seed in the EU region. Hopefully we'll see 5 for them tomorrow when they're going to have a bit more challenging matchups, a bit more closer seeded matchups up against Cryptics in round 3 of this double elimination tournament. We're going to go to a quick break, and if anything, jump into Poise versus Ascending, potentially, down in the losers bracket. Or Sunset Ravens versus Academy. And then we'll be done for the afternoon. NA starts at 3 p.m. PST and has a few best of 3s to tune into, so you're not going to want to miss that. But stick around for more EU action because there's just a little bit left.
Prepare to
Only
start.
Baron left alive. Where is Baron?
Welcome back, everybody. We are here in our last series of the afternoon in the losers bracket. It is Ascending versus Poise Prodigies. Oh, I just realized Poise, not Poise Prodigy. Wait, isn't the team registered as... Poise versus Ascending. Take a look at their regular season performance, see how they match up. If they've played before, Poise have won in the past, 24-10. Right now, Poise are down a player, though, so we'll see if they do get a fifth, which they have had before. Granddad has been online. Then we should have our first 5v5 of the afternoon in the EU region. Otherwise, could be headed to another 5v4. So we'll have to see. Ascending definitely bringing all five, but going up against Acer EU didn't matter even if they did, so end up losing that 5v4. Map 1, 9-5, and then lose the 4v4 map 2, 9-1. A little tough, but ultimately at the end of the day, a good warm-up. They look strong. They had multiple strong kills coming in. That dirty knife play coming in, though, from Acer EU. Definitely impressive to see. Jiggle Bum with the double, and then, like I said, a bunch of great replays from the matchup that came out from Acer EU and Ascending, but also from all the matchups we've had today. So, a lot of fun. Honestly, pretty close battles at the end of that. At the end of the day, you know, big multi-kills coming through. Player disadvantage not impacting too much on the spectate fun, at least for me. I've been having a good time. But we are ready for our first 5v5. And it is going to take us to Cliffside for map number 1. To swap teams, we have Poise on the defense, Ascending on the attack. Round 1 kicking off again on Cliffside. Not sure what the win rates are, but we'll take a look after this round to get a better perspective. Either way, lasers on so we can see line of sights a little bit more clear. Billiam could be first in line to find some kills, or it could be the on-site defense Prodigies holding things down with Gemma. Prodigies does catch Elliot, looking for more. Everyone's storming in from the Ascending squad, and in comes McJigglebun. Catches one, only one. Looking for more on the long lane. The nade comes down. Gemma scoops up one on the side. That nade from Jigglebun catches two. What a beautiful toss, and just like that, Shinji's alone. To a 1v2. Poise don't need to get aggressive. They have control of the scanner, I was going to say, but pushing out and locking in a solid point on the board. 1-0. Pistol round done, rifles in hand. That's the nature of VAIL. Full stack here, heading over to B, so it seems. So Prodigy's defense here should be running into each other soon. We get a little bit of an exchange up through the midfield here, and Prodigy's does pop out to catch Elliot. And the double there as Jigglebun goes down, and very quickly the duo, all that's left for Poise and getting pushed. Or excuse me, all that's left for Ascending, rather. It's hard to remember that Poise is on defense here as they barrel through
Round starting. Get ready.
the Ascending squad. Poise coming off of a loss from Cryptics. 2-0, then went up against Ascenders and won their 2-0. And now going up against Ascending. How many more ascensions do they need to make before they're out of this loser's bracket? Well, several more, really. Ooh, and the Chow, the 1v1. Ego Chow goes to Shinji in the long-range fight. doesn't last too long as Prodigy's getting very aggressive on this push. So her ultimate swings wide to catch one, but in the smoke, some footage is gained, and a nice kill from Jigglebun, also from Mushroom. The swing in, coming in from the back line, though, definitely going to throw off this play. Jigglebun does get Scanner down, but aggressive pinch comes through for Poise. 3-0 on defense, and they are really playing aggressive, something that, you know, if you're playing on the side of Ascending, you got to try and read into. Anticipate a very forward defense and then try and get those early picks to set you up for the advantage. Easier said than done, obviously, but nice swing for Sir Ultimate. Def quickly, though, with the refrag. Keeping things close. As has this, most of this. Then, nice peek up there. Prodigy catches Shinji trying to flank. Looks for more, picks up the double, finds the third.
Round starting. Get ready.
Snap there. Mushroom with 2. Puts us into the 1v1. Prodigy's has Scanner down, knows it's got to get picked up by Mushroom. Mushroom trying to scoop it up, doesn't know Prodigy's on the short corner there.
Round starting.
Things continue to be so close, but still go the way of Poise. There, but Poise Gemma pushing up here, trying to hit the flank, catches McJigglebun. Billiam also with some fight up the midfield, and just like that, everyone getting picked off. Poise absolutely steamrolling through the mid lane there, and
Starting. Get ready.
very cleanly pushing it up 6-0. And just a tough time getting out the front door here for the likes of this Ascending squad. Nice kill there from Steph, though. Shinji on a very different approach as Steph tries to swing and gets pinched. Shinji way over on the opposite side of the map. Might catch 1 or 2 off by surprise, but now their position given away. Scanner down, so far away from them. They have a minute left to cross so many lines of sight, but they picked up 2. 2 more to go. HP less than half, not ideal, but Prodigy's is also pretty low. So they may be able to get out of that fight unscathed if they get the right angles. Otherwise, the defense is going to tuck in around Scanner. They know Shinji has to come soon. 40 seconds left. Does swing, catches the first, doesn't catch the second. Almost a clutch quadra kill from Shinji to get their team on the board, but Poise are so far scoreless map 1 here. Or, excuse me. Ascending are scoreless so far map 1 here. Poise absolutely dominating. And I think this Poise squad likely going to be the one that's going to challenge Acer. Especially if Acer are going to bring all 5 players. I think if they're 4v5, Poise probably have a pretty good shot. But that'll be tomorrow, so Acer may have a chance of having the full roster available. As Steph catches to Ensign and a shot through the smoke. Just like that, Ascending somehow have chipped away all of this Poise defense. The over-aggression finally getting shut down. Ascending finally reading in to this defense, pushing them. And Shinji looking for the double, but doesn't quite scoop it up. Kristen is super low, though, and all that's left on defense. Scanner's down, and Ascending are going to get on the board on their offensive half, at least.
We're switching sides.
Put one up. Side swap could be a lot, you know, for this Poise team. Ascending, maybe once they go on defense, will have a much more confident approach, because right now they really are getting counter pushed, and it's kind of like a little, it's not unorthodox, but Poise is definitely getting aggressive. So now that we do swap sides, Ascending do go on defense. We'll see. This early kill does help start things. Just quickly finds a refrag. Elliott finds that refrag, though. They continue to barrel through the mid lane. Tanner does go down, but not before losing several on the offense. So 3v3 now. When Sir Ultimate catches the kill there. Steph trying to push up. Mushroom swings out. They go down. Back and forth. We trade into the 1v1, into the 1v none. Poise, one away from taking map 1, 8-1 in the lead so far. Poise squad looking good this afternoon here in our EU postseason double elimination bracket. We're into the losers bracket, so loser of this series is their season finished. You are out of the losers bracket. No more games to be played for you. William finally getting shut down. Pickle Bun on that side flank. The smoke is going to dissipate. No, re-inflates, and then Tristan catches the kill. A double, no less, on that front line push that was coming in for the retake from Ascending. Use it up to Steph to clutch up this round and the hope, and keep the hopes alive for Ascending on map 1. Oh, that knife nearly hits. That flash definitely does. Steph tucked into the corner. That knife nearly hits, and they will get knifed by Prodigies. 9-1 in our opening map. And a very solid performance from the Poise squad, as you would expect as you get deeper into the double elimination bracket, you know, deeper into the teams that have been around for a while. Poise being one of them since season 1. Ascending, like I've been saying, impressive to see them battling as hard as they have against squads like Acer and now up against Poise. They've definitely had some tough challenges presented to them. But I love to see it. Love to see the willingness for them to take the challenge on, and ultimately, you know, 24-10 was the last time, was the last score between these two teams. So, you know, going into map 2, maybe it's going to be Ascending putting a few more points on the board. Our second map has been picked. Opportunity to dive into the darkness for Miru Knight. As we get ready to dive into round one, on the defense, we have Poise on the attack, ascending. Gonna try and set the pace early in this pistol round. Nice Instin's gonna zone a little bit. They're gonna come through. Take some damage. There's a nice kill to swing from Sir Ultimate. Billiam on the pinch. What was a nice push ends in a 1v3 that Billiam finishes off.
Round starting.
Poise up 1-0 on map 1 here. Reminder that once we finish this series, we will be done for the EU region for the afternoon. And also a reminder that NA starts at 3 p.m. PST. Go, we're back. Push coming in on the overhead, definitely towards B. Flip on over to Prodigies, who's swinging wide for a kill, looking for more if they keep pushing up. Won't find it, Elliott shuts it down. Nice pickup from Mushroom over the midfield. They have Billiam trapped in the corner, but Billiam with the bolt action wants some replays on the board. Elliott has scanner in hand. Drop back for the A site rotation, has plenty of time. Are they going to let Elliott drop back? Oh, they're not going to rotate. Elliott's going to push up and Sir Ultimate. Ready and waiting. Brings their trap. Doesn't allow Billiam any more bolt action kills. And map 2 going so far so good for the Poise squad. At this point, the pressure starts to get a little bit heavier for a losing team like Ascending. As your fate gets closer and closer, the end of your season closer and closer. Impact how you play. Sometimes you lock in, play better. Sometimes get over aggressive, play worse. Poise obviously feeling good with the map 1 win in their pocket. Billiam finds one. Gemma finally swings out to scoop up their kill. And on the bottom line, Billiam with another. Oh my goodness. Doesn't end off the round, but
Round starting. Get ready.
6-0 with the bolt action, leading his team in kills. Leading the lobby in kills. Wow. I like to see this read from Ascending, trying to anticipate the aggressive defense. And it is coming. I mean, look at this. Absolutely crashing around B, hoping that they're going to find some kills, but they've absolutely overextended. A site completely barren off of what was just a little bit of a hold. And now the push, but oh, Gemma says, I'll pick up 3, please. And what was a good time swing, they had Poise out on the rotation. It's just almost like they weren't ready for them to be coming that way, either way. Steph shoots their hand. And Billiam with the bolt action puts another point on the board. 4-0 for Poise, and it feels like Ascending. Yeah, feeling impending doom coming. 5 more rounds to go, and Poise advance on through the loser's bracket. Their next challenge will be up against the loser of Meeks versus Ascendancy. the Poise to go from fighting, losing to Cryptics, to winning against Ascenders, to winning against Ascending, to then playing against Ascendancy if Ascendancy loses. That's crazy. That's crazy. Emma with a nice kill there up the mid lane. And again, Ascending down to 2 in the tunnels. Absolutely trapped. One does catch their ultimate trying to swing out and get him, and have drawn 2 down into the tunnels, so just Tristan up top. East side rotation is possible. Tristan has a little bit shorter of a line to cut, though, and should be able to head them off. But needs to find the kill. Jigglebun again with another pickup. 2v2. William may be able to catch them off. Bolt action. In hand. The flank here from Gemma. Didn't have their gun up. Jigglebun did. Pistol got drawn for some reason. Now it's up to Billiam. The bolt action. Oh my goodness, the double. We'll put it on the replay.
Round starting.
Showing off the beauty of the rifle. Pretty nice multi-kill there. We'll give it a full screen look. Good shots too. Not an easy thing to be doing. Reloading as fast as they are and hitting their shots. Pretty impressive. You have time to commentate that round. Wasn't a whole lot of time on that one. Poise definitely locked in. 6-0 here. The other series live is Sunset Ravens and Mini Meeks. The winner of that will go up against the loser of Acer EU and Cryptics. Tomorrow, we have Acer EU and Cryptics, seeds 1 and 4 in the ladder, versus Meeks and Ascendancy, seeds 2 and 3. Then we have two games going on in the losers bracket. So a lot of good quality games to be tuning into tomorrow. And something to keep the eyes peeled for. Unfortunate disconnect from Ascending leaves Poise up 7-0.
Round starting.
2 more rounds to go and the season ends for Ascending, so it might be settling in for some players not wanting to face the music, or just connection issues, more likely than that, as we've definitely been having some odd ones today. Power outages, battery issues, obviously. We've been going a long bit today, coming up on hour 3. Started at 8. Impressive, to be honest, for how many rounds we did get through this afternoon, but Sir Ultimate. Picks up the triple, makes it 4. Yes, they do. Wow, absolutely steamrolling through the Ascending offense, and on the side swap, Poise go up 8-0. Another look at that quadra kill. Quite a good bit of shooting there. Pistol round coming out. As the team splits up, you'll love to see Ascending fighting to their last breath. With 4 left alive, they're looking to make some action happen. Steph scoops up 1. McJigglebum with the nade. 4 down. Scanner gone. Sir Ultimate into a 1v4. Finally, Ascending going to put a point on the board. They are not going to go down without a fight. Crazy for the 1v4 Mr. Ultimate. I see that happening here. Definitely tough to do in the pistol round as Steph catches the kill, and yes, indeed. Ascending avoids the full 9-0. Nice starter for the defensive half. Maybe it's going to be a clean 8-0 defensive sweep from them, but not something I imagine happening down a player on defense. Of all of the sides to be down one, I feel like it's most inhibitive against your team when you're on defense. Especially in the nature of the game, having the split. Pretty big swing over to B site. Push definitely going to A. Prodigies has scanner in hand. Tristan catches one over there. And they just keep fighting because honestly the scanner is down and clean at A. I'll realize this a little bit late. And this rotation could hurt. Mr. Ultimate picks up the double. Absolutely shuts down the defensive swing, and Elliott ends off the knife. Picks up two. Can't make it three. Tristan finishes it off, and Poise advance through the loser's bracket. Our last series of the evening for EU ends with a quick 2-map win from Poise, but impressive to see none the least. Ascending, battling against top-tier teams in their first time in the postseason. Shout out to them and their season, finishing seeded in 8th overall on the ladder. So, pretty solid job, honestly, for your first season in the region, and a really good experience, I would imagine, going up against some top teams like Acer and Poise. Sunset Ravens and Mini Meeks should be finishing up as we speak, and so we are going to wrap it up here on the desk this afternoon. I appreciate everyone that's been tuning in across the EU and NA regions for this start of what is a multi-weekend postseason bonanza. Tomorrow we do this again at 9 with more rounds that are going to be with more top-tier teams battling up against each other. Today was the early stages of the single elimination bracket where 10 teams battle out against each other. So you get, the seeding determined by regular season ladder rankings and all of that, but at the end of the day, we're going to have, I think, some really good battles tomorrow to tune into. So do be sure to stop in again tomorrow. Should be, I think, 8 a.m. PST, 11 Eastern is when we will start. Otherwise, it will be 9, but be around early. Because why not? You don't want to miss the action. And a reminder, if you're in the North American region, July 25th to the 27th, to check out VRML Con, our third live in-person event with 5 tournaments getting played out across 3 days, $20,000 in cash distributed across these prize pools for the tournaments. Maybe all kinds of good, awesome merch sales and different booths and 2 stages of gameplay getting played out. It's going to be a really cool VR esports event. We've already sold a bunch of tickets, so a bunch of people showing up for sure, and you got to be ready for what is going to be a lot of really fun in-person back and forth battles in these games. For Onward, Breachers, Pavlov, VAIL, and Orion Drift all day Sunday. 16 teams are going to be able to qualify through to Orion Drift. So if you are interested, go ahead and get your ticket by going to vrmasterleague.com/VRMLCon. Buying you a ticket enters you into all 5 of the tournaments. You just have to then make a team with other players that have bought tickets. You can find those players in the Discord, make a team, and start practicing. You can get a chance at earning that $5,000 prize pool. Well, technically 20. If you were to win all 4 tournaments, Onward has no prize pool. If you were to win all 4 tournaments for VAIL, Pavlov, Breachers, and Orion Drift, you'd come away with $20,000 for your team. So, pretty cool opportunity for just the cost of 1 ticket, and that also obviously gets you entry into the event for 3 days. So, pretty good deal. That's going to be it for me, though, here on the desk. My name has been Nightfire with 2 E's. Tune in later today at 3 p.m. PST for NA. But until then, stay classy. VAIL VRML is brought to you by XLab, Exclaim, Helga, the esports manager, HyperX, ProTube VR, VR Cover. Thanks for watching VRML.